Hello, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be re-ranking all of my Jeffree Star palettes. I did this video a while ago. It's been a very long time. So I thought I would revisit because I don't even know if I had the cremation palette when I did that ranking video. I'd have to go back and watch it, but I'm pretty sure Blood Sugar was on the bottom. So that I did film this look. It should be up before this video. So if you want to see how I got this eye look, it'll be up on my channel. So I wanted to play with that one because I'm pretty sure that was towards the bottom. But yeah, if that sounds interesting, stick around. You can see what palettes I do have. And yeah, let's just jump into the video. My order is actually different than what I was initially thinking it was going to be. It is 100% different from what it was in that video. If you watch that video, my number one palette, I believe, was the Bloodlust. I think the purple one. That is not number one this time. None of my palettes, I think, are bad. It just comes down to personal preference, I think, more than anything, and colors that I've been reaching for lately. So, yeah, let's just jump right on in. So at the bottom, and how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I have the mini breaker, which I'm going to lump with the jawbreaker. So 7. So at number 7, we have the cremation palette. And the only reason this is at the bottom is because I haven't been reaching for like grays and blacks and whites, but this has a really good black in it and hers. The white is in Death Blow, and I like Diamond Ashes, which is in here. I like all the shades, and this is, you know, he's been getting more and more shimmery. Like Blood Sugar, the metallics that are in there are not super shimmery compared to some of the shades that are in here. I like Angel of Death. It's a really cool, like, black, glittery shimmer shade. Pallbearer I've used. I like that there, you know, you've got taupes, you've got cooler tone grays. There is probably some overlap happening with some of these shades, but overall, I think it's, if you like blacks and whites and grays, it gives you everything in between for different grayish looks. So absolutely nothing wrong with this palette. This is probably just the one that I'm going to reach for the least at this stage. So then at number 6, we have Blood Sugar, which is what's on my eyes. The only gripe that I have about this palette, and I've had this gripe for years, is there's not enough reds in here for me. I have looked at the mini one that he came out with, because I think that has a few more red shades, but I just haven't purchased anything from him in a really long time. For no other reason than there's just been other things that I wanted to buy instead. I do want his pink palette at some point, but I'll probably wait till he has another like 40% off sale. But I tend to do the same look with this palette, which is, you know, these 3 shades and this and this. It gets kind of a watermelon-esque look. I struggle doing red looks. I do like how this look came out, but to me, you only have, like, this is a metallic red, and it's not super metallic-y compared to what we have nowadays, but this palette is older. And then you have Cherry Soda and Prick, and those are the only, like, true red shades. So for me, I mean, I know how many shades of red can you do, but to me, I would have liked to see a few more reds, because you could go darker in the red family, because to me, this is more of like a plummy shade. This, you could go deeper with a blood red shade, like Unicorn Blood in an eyeshadow. And a few more pinks, because most of these up here are neutral, like brownie, and then like this is a peach. Like you have this pink shade and this pink shade, and then now we're getting into more like fuchsia-y. So to me, I think we could have had more reds and pinks, but that's just my personal preference. I don't dislike this palette. Mine still works. Had mine for a while, but it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, and I don't tend to do a lot of reds and pinks. And like I said, I have struggled to get looks outside of this one and the other one that I do over and over. So that's it. Then at 5, sorry, 1, 2, 3, yeah. Number 5, we have Bloodlust, which was number 1 last time. And it's just because I have not been reaching for purples. This has a lot of pretty purples, and usually the look that I have done out of this palette leads a little more pink, because you have this really pretty Pink Shimmer. And then I like Pink Magic. You do have a red. The black that is in here is like a sequin shade. It's a black with purple shimmer. It's a really good black. I like the shades that are in here. I just don't tend to, I haven't been reaching for purples a lot. So that is the only reason that it's towards the bottom this time. Just color preference at this point. No other reason. I have both of the Jawbreaker palettes together because I don't tend to use this one on its own very often. So at number 4, we have the mini and the full size. So the mini is going to give you the extra purple shades that are missing. You've got 3 in here, and then this little bit darker of a pink. Bubblegum is the only repeat shade between the 2 palettes. You've got a gray to kind of deepen things up. This is like a more Halloween-y color story with the purple and the orange and the golds, but I like using it with the big one. And this is probably my most used Jeffree Star palette because anytime I do rainbow look, I use this palette because as you see, like you've got the shimmer purple and then the matte purple. So the mini palette is going to give you those extra purple shades if you need them because this is very pastel-y. But you can do rainbow pastel look with this. And there's Bubblegum with the Brain Freeze and the purple and Cute. Or you can do dark. My blue shade broke a little bit. Delicious, Licorice. So you can go darker rainbow, lighter rainbow. Orange Juice is a really nice orangey shimmer. Jawbreaker is like a duochrome shade. I don't know. It's just a well-rounded rainbow palette. And then having them both. I bought this one initially, and I got this one in the Halloween mystery box that I got years ago. That's the only mystery box of his I've ever purchased. But I am happy to have both because they do play off of each other well. Like I said, you get, you know, the extra orange shade, you get the extra purples. So it's nice to have both of them. The Circus palette that he came out with, I think, is just a revamped version of Jawbreaker, in my opinion. So I've not been interested in picking up that because I have both of those, but I have looked at his pink palette. Would probably be the next one if I buy another one. At 3, we have Blue Blood, just because I've been more interested. Blues are not my favorite shades to wear, but I have been wanting to wear more blue lately, so that's the only reason I rang to this one where it is. And in this one, you start to get like the actual like glittery shimmers. And then he did the purple one. So the shimmer formula kept evolving as taste evolved. So you can kind of see the evolution of the shimmer metallic eyeshadow with these palettes. So very, very good palette. All of the ones in the Blood line, are all very, very good. Then at number 2, we have Blood Money. My husband actually bought this on launch for me as a Christmas present. So that was very nice. He dealt with the insanity that can be his website during launch. I do appreciate that there's more greens. I think as far as all of the Blood palettes are concerned, the blue one probably has the most blues. Because in here, you do have a fair amount of greens, but you've also got some teals and then some browns. But in my opinion, this has more greens than the Blood Sugar has reds, if that makes sense. And I do like green eyeshadow. Again, you've got, what is this called? Divine Intervention is a white to green duochrome. There's some more shimmery. There's a shimmery green. This one's a little more on the like metallic-y side. You've got some lighter mattes, some darker mattes. The black in here is like a sequency shade, but his blacks have always been very, very good. But yeah, I tend to stick to the more grungier shades that are in here, but I've always been happy with the looks that have turned out when I've used this. So yeah, I'm happy that I have this. This is one of those palettes where when I started acquiring his palettes, I was like, if he ever comes out with a green palette, I want it. So when my husband saw that he was launching this, he made a point to deal with the chaos of the website and buy that for me. So that was very, very sweet. And then my favorite, one of my top 5 favorite palettes in my collection actually got ranked #1 this time, and that is my Alien palette. I love the Alien palette. Now, last time I didn't get ranked #1 as far as my Jeffree Star palettes were concerned, just because I was reaching for the purple one more at the time, but this has always been one of my top, at least top 10 favorite palettes for a long, long time. This palette has been discontinued. At some point, I would love to see him bring this back, maybe in slightly different packaging. I don't hate the alien head. It's cute, but it's kind of a pain to store. But all of his palettes are a pain to store other than the cremation and the jawbreaker. So I've pretty much used every shade in this palette at least once. You can kind of see some of the shades that I reach for most, but like the black that I used in the look today was the black from this palette. Probe is one of my favorite like duochrome shades. I like the shimmers there. Interstellar is also a duochrome. I love Moonrock. It's like a cool tone gold, and then you got more of a yellowy gold. You've got the green. Pluto is also a nice like shimmery iridescent shade. I don't know. I like that you've got some warmer shades, and then you've also got the taupey shades. There's a purple. I don't know. I've just always very, very neutral palette with some pops of color, but I've always really liked the Alien palette for some reason. It looks very boring, but I've never done a bad look with an Alien palette, and I've never struggled as much as I do with like the Blood Sugar palette. So yeah, that's where I'm ranking them now. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought. If you still have any of his palettes, do you still use them? Do you still like them? Do you guys still purchase from Jeffree Star? Like I said, I haven't like purposely not bought stuff. There's just been other stuff that I wanted more. So it just kind of is what it is. But I do still like his stuff. I have a few lipsticks. I've had to declutter some just because they've expired. I have a couple of highlighters still. So I like everything that I have. So yeah, let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and hopefully I'll see you in another video very, very soon. Bye, everybody.